G'day, welcome to a new series of videos entitled The Wright Stuff, where we're going to examine the exploits of my great uncle, Captain Samuel Wright of the 3rd Regiment, the Buffs. This first episode is a prologue, basically telling Samuel's origin story, and then we're going to move into a series of 4, maybe 5 videos charting his career in the colonies of Van Diemen's Land and New South Wales. So I hope you enjoy it. Samuel Wright was born around 1785 in the Irish county of Cavan. We're not sure of his exact date of birth. His family lived as farmers on the northern shore of Loch Sillan in the parish of Shercock at the beginning of the 19th century. The 3rd Infantry Regiment of the British Army, known as the Buffs, had been based in Ireland until 1781, in which they returned in 1805 after service in North America. Early in 1805, James Wright decided that his 3rd son, our Samuel, should make the army his career, and preliminary arrangements were made to purchase a commission. In February, Samuel was invited to London for an interview with the colonel of the regiment, and the colonel agreed to support his application for a commission, and the sum of £400 was paid. The fact that the family could afford to pay this huge sum suggests that they were quite well off. Samuel was commissioned as ensign on the 6th of March in 1806, and 2 years later the regiment arrived in Portugal to join in the campaign in what was later known as the Peninsular War. Under the command of General Arthur Wellesley, later the Duke of Wellington, Samuel fought at the Battle of Douro in April 1809. As a result of his action, Samuel was promoted to lieutenant, and by 1810 was in command of a company. For the next 4 years, he fought bravely with the regiment during the Peninsular Campaign. He participated in the battles of Busaco, Bayonne, Pyrenees, Pamplona, Nivella and Nive. And on the 16th of May 1811, at the Battle of Albuera, Samuel's regiment sustained heavy casualties after being surrounded by Polish lancers and French hussars. Approximately 400 of the 728 members were killed, and Samuel was severely wounded. I wonder what Samuel would have thought if he knew that his descendants, my Auntie Greta, would later live here at Albuera Street. Yes, we don't pronounce it properly, here in Hobart's Battery Point. Recovering from his wounds, he fought again in a number of battles, but not in the Battle of Salamanca. And he ended the campaign at the Battle of Toulouse on 12th of April 1814. The next year, the Buffs were off to Canada to fight in the last year of the War of 1812 against the USA, returning to France after the Battle of Waterloo as part of the Army of Occupation. With the Napoleonic Wars over, the next assignment for the Buffs was not so glamorous. They were to be posted to the colony of New South Wales as garrison duty. Samuel, as senior subaltern of the regiment, was put in charge of 50 men as guards in charge of 180 convicts on board the ship Richmond. They'd left the Downs in the UK on the 6th of December 1821 and arrived here in Hobart Town, Van Diemen's Land, on 30 April 1822, en route to Sydney, where he arrived in May. Shortly after that, in June, Colonel Cameron, commander of the regiment, arrived in Sydney on board the convict ship the Phoenix, where he was met by Samuel and the other officers and men. Colonel Cameron took the bulk of the regiment to Port Dalrymple, now known as Launceston, where he was effectively the de facto governor of the entirety of northern Van Diemen's Land. And we wonder why we still have a north-south divide in this state. Samuel remained in Sydney with the rest of the regiment under the command of Major Wall. On the 6th of December 1823, Lieutenant Wright arrived in Hobart aboard the Captain Herbert. Almost immediately, Governor William Sorrell appointed him the Commandant of the Macquarie Harbour convict station. Samuel had to first travel to Port Dalrymple, where the bulk of the regiment was based, to collect his troops. Samuel was assigned a detachment of 4 sergeants, 2 corporals and 32 privates from the garrison at Georgetown to serve with him at his new post. Then it was off to Macquarie Harbour on the still wild and isolated west coast. It was designed to be a difficult place to escape from, and is still a difficult place to get to, particularly some of the locations of the major events in Tasmania's history with which Samuel was associated. So, I hope you've enjoyed this introductory prologue episode to the Wright Stuff. And like Samuel, we're going to be off to Macquarie Harbour. Now, as I said, there will be 4, maybe 5 videos in this series, and I've filmed all of them except for the Macquarie Harbour episode. Because Macquarie Harbour is a logistical exercise to get to, and an even more logistical exercise to get to some of the sites where Samuel was involved with some of the most momentous events in Tasmania's history. So if I don't get that one filmed soon enough to get uploaded, I will upload the other ones and I'll number them in chronological order, so you'll be able to eventually watch them in chronological order, but fingers crossed. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, please click like, please subscribe, and we'll see you again following the Wright Stuff. My mother's friend Fabrice, who was French, asked, and I'm not sure if it was sarcastic or not, after driving through here, he asked, why do we name everything after defeats? But we don't have a problem with naming streets after the enemy.